Hey guys, I'm Sada.
And I'm Kimmy. And you're listening to People Who Don't Suck.
A podcast introducing you to people we think are rad. And if you don't suck, then you'll think so too.
If you like us, tell your friends.
And if you don't, tell your enemies.
So you're welcome for the introduction. And thanks for tuning in to People Who Don't Suck.
Suck. So Kimmy and I have both wanted to start podcasts for a long time. And we decided to join forces and create People Who Don't Suck.
Yeah, totally. We just really wanted to create a space where we could ask the questions that we wanted. We could kind of control the narrative and just introduce our friends and people that we think are really interesting.
Yeah, and we have like a network between the two of us that I find fascinating with being in the industry that we're in. You're a musician, I'm acting and fitness. We have a lot to offer. And so I'm really excited to do this with you and excited that you guys are here listening to us. So
yes, thanks so much. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, and we just wanted to start you guys off with some stats from the top and where we're at exactly today.
Yeah, what's happening? Where are we at?
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, we are in a worldwide quarantine. Welcome to coronavirus.
We're in a global pandemic.
Okay, so as of this morning, they declared that this was literally going to be the worst week this week and next week. So they're recommending that we don't even go grocery shopping.
We can't leave the house without a mask or we'll get fined.
Really? Is it that crazy? Oh my God. Okay.
It's that crazy.
So currently we have about 1.7 million cases worldwide. 500K in the US.
Yeah, and then we've had 368,000 people who've now recovered from it and over 100,000 deaths. And this is not accounting for people who've passed away from, we think, is COVID, but have not been tested for it. So those numbers are not being accounted for when it comes to statistics. So that's pretty crazy.
Oh my God.
It's probably a lot higher than we think.
I mean, totally. It's totally higher. There's no way. People aren't getting tested.
It's been really hard. And, you know, we have a really, really cool guest today. She is a melodic techno producer and DJ. And Lauren has had some really interesting series of events happen in her life as of recently. And one of them is that she has contracted COVID-19 and is now recovering.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 26 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm a musician professionally. I compose and produce music. I record music, and I also own a record label where I distribute and publish music for other artists internationally. I play shows from time to time.
I remember talking to you about moving to Berlin, and you were super stoked about that.
Yeah,
How was that move?
It was challenging, to be honest, because I went directly in the middle of the winter, mainly just to get settled in. I brought like 9 Pelican cases worth of equipment. The reason why I went is because I work with a lot of people in Europe. I recently had a release on a label in Berlin, and I have a really nice collective that I'm friends with and also started playing with different little shows. They're very cool. The collective is called Banausen. It's an amazing community of like different types of artists, not just musicians, and they all collectively contribute into making productions or like really cool art that includes literal art or like graphics or music, and it's just a community. They kind of like took me in under their wing as well. So it was nice to have support in the music world outside of just like the business aspect and having friends like that understand the genre of music I work with. So yeah, I went out there with this intention and it was really great, but it was just a short 2 months before the fucking crisis happened. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
Oh, you're good. You can totally swear.
I mean, what the fuck? Like, we swear in this space, so it's okay.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you wanted to keep it G-rated.
It's a safe swearing space. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is a effing crisis, you know.
It is, for sure.
So I had my last show in LA January 7th at Sound. Then I moved on January 9th. I basically came back the first week of March. So the Sunday before, I went to Berghain, which was like fun. It's an amazing club. I went out with my friends. Everyone's going about their life. Like everything is normal. All the clubs are open. The restaurants are open. No one is even thinking twice about the pandemic in Germany. So it was a problem because when my family called me just on Tuesday, 2 days before the travel ban, they were panicking for me and just like, you gotta get home. Shit's about to hit the fan. I brushed it off because everyone else was doing that. So there were already cases growing in the south of Germany, but everyone is like, oh, it's kind of far away from us. Like, we're okay. It was a couple hundred cases. I had plans for a French producer named Mark Hoffman to come stay in Berlin and work with me for a week the following Monday. I call him. He's like, yeah, we're still on. Don't worry. Then 2 hours later, literally in hours later, he calls me. He says, my team's not letting me fly out to Berlin.
Yeah.
It was just everything happened so fast, like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, that's strange. I wonder why, everything's starting to slowly change. Wednesday, I was invited to go out with the Banausen Collective and a couple other friends. I was hanging out with all of them, sharing drinks, smoking a joint. Thursday, the travel ban was official.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I get a notification that my flight on March 23rd for my friend's wedding and the show is canceled. There's not a single flight leaving Europe. And then I realized shit was really serious and I started to panic. That was when they kind of started announcing that all the clubs were going to be shut down just in a day. Like,
Yeah,
the
travel ban just completely shut everything down. People just went crazy trying to come back.
Totally.
Yeah.
The way I got out of there was by luck. I found a flight out of London because Trump exempted the UK from the travel ban, which is so weird. Because I took a flight from Berlin to London and then a separate flight from London. I had to leave the airport into London with my shit. It was just a disaster. Mind you, I moved all my stuff into storage in 24 hours and managed to get out of my lease agreement because no one...
So you moved here. You're in LA now, like for real. Like you left Berlin.
All my stuff is in Germany in storage.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So literally in a day, because my family seemed to be right about all the events, they called me and said, this might go on for months. So I quickly found a place to move into storage. Everyone's starting to stay home. I'm just moving my things into storage and I'm looking for how to get out of there. All I did was go to the market and that was it. Then in the evening, my throat kind of starts to hurt and my chest felt really tight. And I called...
A nightmare.
Literally. I called Carly, my best friend, and I was FaceTiming her and I'm like, my chest is hurting. And she's like, don't worry, Lauren, it's just anxiety because you have to get out of here.
Did you feel like maybe you were being, paranoid?
Yeah, I did. When I started panicking about getting out of there, I thought maybe I'm just putting it in my head and my chest is hurting. Little did I know, somehow in that 24-hour period, I contracted the virus because no one I was with the night before got it.
Yeah.
It's impossible that I had it on Wednesday. Everybody in the whole group, and we're talking like 15 people, didn't get the virus. So I think I got it at the market. When I went to the market and I took the change from the cashier, I remember taking the money and the coins and going home, going about packing and not washing my hands.
Right. Yeah.
And I must have touched my face or something. And then all of a sudden, even though they say there's an incubation period, I'm pretty in tune and I felt immediately there was something a little off hours later. I was really lucky to get a mask that I ordered 3 weeks before just in case. And it finally came in to my friend's place. Luckily, no one I came in contact with got exposed to the virus. And the person I sat next to on the airplane didn't get the virus. So, because I took his number, he was a cool person. He said he didn't get the virus. We sat directly next to each other. So I was really careful about using a mask and gloves. But I did travel like 11 hours in the
So at that point, you didn't know that you had it. You were just like, something is weird. I don't feel right.
I just felt like a little tired.
Right.
It was weird. I didn't feel too sick. It was just something felt off and it could have been anxiety.
And then when did it get worse? Like when did you get tested?
No, I mean, it was a whole process leading up to it, basically. It really is a gradual thing, this virus. And it's the weirdest thing because I used to get respiratory illnesses all the time. And I've had influenza, I've had bronchitis and pneumonia, but this virus is so strange in the way that it acts on you. Basically, I returned. I was fine. The day after I got back, I woke up and my whole face was so swollen and white.
Whoa.
It was so weird. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I looked sick and I felt sick.
I haven't heard that.
And that's when it went downhill from there for me. I mean, you have to be, everybody is different because of how they're exposed to the virus. If you're exposed to a lot of virus in that moment, your illness will be worse.
Yeah.
If you have a little virus, like if I touched the coin and it had a lot on there and I put a lot of virus in me, that's why it could have hit me really hard.
Okay.
So the incubation period was 2 to 3 days, like they say, until it hit me hard. But I felt symptoms a little bit before. I came to my family's home, but they immediately quarantined me anyways.
Smart family.
Because, I mean, you know, after the travel ban, everyone's like, if you're coming from Europe, self-quarantine for 2 weeks. So they were like, take it seriously because my dad's 67 and he has diabetes and heart conditions. So I hid myself in a room with like towels under the doors for 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, I just got progressively worse. I mean, it was just 3-4 days into the illness when my fever just skyrocketed. My nose was congested. I had pain all through my sinuses to my temples, sharp pain, like needle pain.
Oh my God.
Like it was damaging all the cells in my sinuses. And then I lost my sense of smell and taste because I was saging my room and I couldn't fucking smell the sage.
Wow.
That's how it was. So I was like freaking out about it.
You're like, I can't smell the sage. What the
That means there's something wrong.
Serious. Fucking eating the sage. You're like, no.
Oh my God, it was so scary. And then the chest, like about 4 or 5 days later, it moved down to my chest pretty severely, where it felt like a 1-gallon bottle of water, those big ones, was just constantly sitting on my chest.
Oh my God, dude. It's so
it's like
gnarly.
pressure. Yeah, and when you're congested and you pressure, like someone's pressing down, how do you breathe?
Wow, dude.
Yeah, and I couldn't, at that point I knew I had coronavirus and I didn't even want to go to the hospital or leave this room because A, I didn't want to expose people. B,
You're so
all
sick.
the research was that they can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
They'll just send you home and tell you to take Tylenol. And unless you're horrible to the point where you need to be hospitalized.
Yep.
Which, as a 26-year-old healthy girl, even though I was so ill, a part of me was like, I'm not prepared to like push myself out of bed and drive myself alone to be maybe turned away.
Sure. That's been sick.
You know
like
what I mean?
Not that sick before, but like I've been really sick before where it's like, people are like, you need to go to the doctor. I'm like, I feel so ill right now, like getting out of bed and getting dressed. It's too much energy. I don't have.
And every time at that point, I stopped showering because I couldn't shower like 3 days at a time. Because when I would take a shower and stand for a few minutes, I felt like I was gasping for air. I had to sit on the shower,
so sad.
on the shower floor. It was really, really scary.
So how long were you like debilitatingly sick?
20 days.
Whoa. 20 days.
20 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
with like a fever and everything.
With the fever and the chest and the nose and the no smell, the no taste. The days were just a complete blur.
Wow.
I couldn't work. I couldn't text. I couldn't call my friends. I had it really bad and I knew I had it and I was trying to like share my story even before I got tested.
I didn't know. You know? I didn't know that you had it. It was after that you're like, I'm recovering now. I was like, what? So during that time, were you sleeping? Because like a lot of times when you're sick, it's like your body just wants to rest and you sleep a lot. Were you not sleeping? Were you just like suffering?
No, I was sleeping a lot. I was taking a lot of Tylenol, which was helping me kind of sleep. I was taking it like 3-4 times a day, eating a little bit here and there, but mainly just watching movies and sleeping. It's all I could do is just kind of like half watch things. I didn't leave this bed.
Oh my God, for 20 days. So wait, did any of your family get it?
No, because I literally really fully quarantined. Wow. Like not like where you leave your room. I mean, I was in 4 walls for 20 days, but it wasn't that hard because I couldn't do anything. Yeah. I was so sick.
Sure. You know? I mean, everyone was like, were they just pushing food through the door?
No, my mom would put like these gloves and a mask and come near the door and set it in front of the door and leave.
How scary for them.
Holy shit.
Well, they weren't really sure until I got tested. No one really could believe that I had the virus. All my friends too, they're just like, I think you just have the flu. And I'm like,
dude, why are people so like, so when did you get tested? And how? It was,
about a week after. Okay, I had one day where I got better and I did my hair and makeup.
Wow.
Because I finally felt good enough to do my hair and makeup. At nighttime, I felt sick with a fever again, just because I used a little bit of energy. And then for 3 days after that, I got so much worse than before. So it was so discouraging because as soon as you think you're feeling better and you use a little energy out of bed, you're screwed.
Wait, so how did you went and got tested? You just
That's when I got tested.
So what did you say?
Worse again.
Yeah.
Oh, I called urgent care, Mend Urgent Care in Studio City. And I said to them, listen, I am 100% sure that I have coronavirus. I need to get tested or a lot of people are going to be at risk. I just came from Europe and I can prove it. And that's when they were like, okay, come in. And when I got there, they didn't let me come inside the urgent care. They made me wait in the car. And then they cleared out the urgent care, let me come in with a mask.
So crazy.
It was so crazy. And all these hazmat people came and tested me.
Oh my God.
It was a situation. And I'm like fully alone, but I was just like, listen, I'm not taking no for an answer. I need this test. And they're like, well, we think we should test you for influenza because if you have influenza, then you likely don't have COVID.
But I think that
that's when I blew up.
I think that if you've had influenza before or other respiratory illnesses, that you're more keen to actually contracting COVID.
I agree with you, but they're saying that you can't have both at the same time. And I pulled up an article at that moment where it proves that a guy was also turned away and now he's on ventilators because he has influenza and COVID. And I said, I'm not leaving this room. After I pushed myself out of bed until you give me a test.
Really? They're not going to test you?
They didn't want to test me.
I was crazy.
You have to be like super
you have to demand
crazy adamant. But this is just
our
medical
freaked
system.
out on that. Also because I don't know how am I going to know when I could be around my family or anybody for that matter. Still till this day, it's been almost 30 days. I haven't had a human hug.
Aww,
you know what I mean? Because people are too afraid.
Air
hug. Me too. It sucks, especially for me because, you know, touch is so important to me and like love and so after I demanded
I can't even get over the fact that they're like, we're not going to test you. Like, what?
That doctor, she's a female doctor. That's when the Scorpio came out of me. I was like,
test me.
Here's an article.
Don't test me. You better fucking test me, bitch.
Well, and I also opened a report with the Department of Health because when I got into the States, no one was testing the people coming from London and Europe. After the travel ban.
That's insane. You should be automatically tested like the moment you step off that plane, period.
Right. And why would they put up a ban if they're letting in hundreds of people anyways, including me who had the virus? Lucky for me, I mean, lucky for everybody else, I actually really care. And so I didn't leave my house. But imagine if I don't know.
Yeah, just spreading it around to everybody. You could have totally done that.
Bad stuff. So 2 days later at 10 p.m., the owner of Mend Urgent Care, he calls me personally from his cell phone and he's like, I'm really happy that you got the test because you've tested positive. And basically it says the specimen is positive for SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes the coronavirus disease. There's a virus and a disease, like HIV/AIDS.
Right.
Yeah.
HIV is the virus, AIDS is the disease. So SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes the disease of COVID-19.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I tested positive for pan-SARS RNA and SARS-CoV-2 RNA. So it was like 12 days after I'd fallen ill.
Wow.
So at that point, I was just like, I mean, what are they going to do for me besides what I'm doing for myself, you know?
Yeah. Well, at least you know now. So what's the amount of time now that they've recommended for you to stay away from people?
When doctors and the Department of Health call me, they're the ones asking me questions.
Yeah.
So it's really frustrating because they don't really know anything about this thing.
Wow.
They don't know.
So my doctor said approximately 30 days just to be safe because some people carry the virus longer.
I mean, you could still be contagious. You have no idea.
Exactly. And also, I can get it again.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You can get it again. And I may not get symptoms because I've developed antibodies. So I can just get it and then pass it around.
Could they possibly get you another test? Could you test again and test negative or?
Yes, but I'm not going to, mainly because I'm thinking about others.
Okay.
And if it was so hard for me to get a test,
Jeez.
even with the proof of travel from Europe, which is considered a high-risk area, I don't want to take it away from someone else who may need it. But I went to the hospital about at the 17 or 18 day mark because I was panicking that I wasn't getting better.
Yeah.
And they put me, in Cedars-Sinai, they have these like big COVID-19 tents.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I got there and I went to the tent and I'm like, I'm positive for 2 weeks now with COVID. And they're like, no, still go into the ER and check in. I mean, like the way they're handling, I just got so mad. I'm like, I'm telling you, I have the virus. Why do you want me to go in the ER? There's people in there. And they made me go in and I was just like covering with a mask.
That is so insane to me.
It's so stupid.
Though, you
it's
know,
so
like
stupid
people are stupid. I'm sorry to say. Even Cedars, which is an amazing hospital, I'm sorry to say.
I mean, come on. It's common
why would
sense.
I think
It's
they
just-
just didn't believe me.
Well, no, I think
Like,
that they
people are in
also,
denial.
I think they also just don't have any systems put into place with how to deal with this. They just do not know how to contain this thing in an educated way.
When you have hazmat
Yeah, exactly.
suits on
How do you not know?
an tent, why would you want the check-in process to be in a place where you can expose?
Yeah.
I yelled at them. I was like, I have coronavirus. I don't want to be in here. Can you check me in outside? I don't want to get these people sick.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
And then they were like, okay, calm down. They gave me an extra mask and like took me outside.
Good.
And
I'm
everyone
proud of you,
like
girl.
stood
You
back.
tell 'em.
Fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to there's old people in there.
Oh
Like,
my God.
honestly,
Yeah.
I would never forgive myself if someone got sick because of
Oh.
me. Really, it's not what I'm about. So, whatever, I leave the hospital. They're just like, you don't have pneumonia, so that's good. Just keep resting, stay in bed, and don't leave your bed even if you feel better. Because patients are reporting that when they work out or do something, like I said, they get worse again. So, just been in this room for almost 3 weeks now. I feel so much better. And the Department of Public Health from the United States, they send you like all these documents after you've tested positive
Yeah.
of how to deal with it. I'm already better. I got this like 2 weeks ago. So it's really interesting how they're so behind on dealing with this situation.
Jeez.
But when they gave me a call, I opened up a report because I let them know that not one officer in the airport was testing people after the travel
Not
ban.
one.
Not one person
Girl,
testing.
I took
And-
the plane on March 17th from New York to here, and it was literally one of the most traumatizing experiences I've ever had. They were literally
Wow.
pretending like it didn't exist. It was like I was on vacation from coronavirus when I got back on the plane over
That's
here.
so crazy.
Did you wear a mask?
I wore a mask, I wore gloves, and I took
Good.
my own row of seats because there were 20 people on the plane. But then they
God.
bunched everybody up into 5 rows. They got on the, on the overhead. They said, if you're not sitting in your assigned seat, we're going to send you back to your seat. And I was like, there are children and like
Wow.
old people sitting right here. They were like getting angry at people. And I was
get
like,
it.
I don't care. I'm sitting in my own row. This plane is empty. It was really strange. And then
I wonder
they had no
if
gloves.
it's
They were touching
intentional.
everything.
Like, I don't
Very
know.
Like
weird.
people were like, "What is happening?"
Oh
Like
my
this was
God.
after.
Ugh.
This was after the travel ban. This was the week after the travel ban.
Right.
And this was a domestic flight. And I was just so confused. And I came home and I was like, I need a quarantine for 2 weeks because I just took a
Totally.
plane from New York City. I laid over in Chicago. I could totally have this thing with how much people were just pretending like it didn't exist. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting you say that because Europe, when I flew back the day or 2 days after the travel ban, everyone was taking it seriously all of a sudden. So everyone in the airport had masks and all the flight attendants had masks. However, my flight from Berlin to London, no one was wearing masks or gloves, and I wasn't feeling good on that flight. I remember I fell asleep. And I remember the flight attendant was just like prick who was staring at me. And he genuinely, I'm not just making this up. He genuinely was looking at me like maybe I was being dramatic or pretending like I wasn't feeling good. And gave me this energy where he's like, you're okay. Like, stop acting like you're okay. When I really, I don't know why on that flight, I just did not feel good at all. It was starting, And when they gave me food, I took off my mask and I ate. And he took the plate, and that's how the virus is passed. So,
did he get it? Oh my God. Like the other day I contacted my friend because she's actually working right now where she's wearing a hazmat suit and they have like a line and you make an appointment and you can come and get tested. And I contacted her because I was like, do I have this thing? And then I started getting scared because, it's like I have a baby, A. B, I live with roommates. C, it's like I would be confined to my room. My son, I'm breastfeeding him. How it's just, it's scary to think. Because then I really started thinking, like, what if I do get sick? First of all, I'm scared of the illness because whether you live or die, because a 22-year-old just died of this. A healthy, young person just passed. And there have been numerous cases. But also, the illness in itself, like hearing you talk about it, it's really scary.
I'm so grateful.
I know.
I'm okay.
Me too.
I'm so grateful. And I'm happy to talk about this and share to help people. I've been trying my best to spread knowledge.
That's why, doing this podcast and with everything that's happening, obviously the thing that everybody is talking about right now is COVID-19. It is the coronavirus. It's on the news. It's, the conversation that you're having with your friends, the conversation you're having with your family. it's changed the world forever, I feel like. And having you on here is amazing because, you know, you can share this with people. And one of the things that I did want to ask you is when you started to feel not well, because then it's the confusion between, like you said, your friends are like, oh, I think you just have a cold. Were there differences in symptoms that you've had that maybe you've never felt before being sick?
100%. Okay, so I've had bronchitis and strep throat and pneumonia so many times that doctors insisted that I remove my tonsils and adenoids in my 20s. The reason why is because my throat was contracting all the bacteria I was exposed to, and then it would move down into my lungs. And I was getting ill and ending up in the ER all the time. The last 4 years, I have stayed off antibiotics. I've been very healthy. I'm in good shape. But when I got this virus, the first thing I noticed that was different was the tightness of the chest. Even with bronchitis or any of those, I never felt tightness. It was very different feeling. Yes, you get a cough and you get sick, but it's different. It's so much more aggressive pressure-wise. It's not just like, oh, you're congested and you're coughing up mucus like you would when you're sick out of your lungs, you know? Or wheezing. I don't know if you guys
Yes, but were you
mucus.
feeling the pressure in your lungs by itself?
That was the first thing I started with, and then the fever started. But my fever didn't go above 101.4. It wasn't like crazy. I wasn't going to die from the fever, but you know, that doesn't matter. I think the number one thing is the chest, because that's what stayed with me the longest for literally the majority of the 20 days. And the nasal congestion and the loss of sense and smell. Those are the main things. That's so significant. Of all times I've been sick, you can kind of taste like coffee or this is gone. Like I lost it. I had a coffee. My mom brought me a coffee outside my door and I couldn't taste it.
It's really significant.
Crazy. It was crazy. Super. And they're reporting it everywhere. Even people who don't have heavy symptoms are losing their sense of smell and taste. So it's something to look out for. If you start to lose that, could be a really big sign.
So you've been in your room for
I'm actually approaching 30 days.
30-day mark since
like I'm in like 2 days away from 30 days.
So do you plan on seeing people soon?
No, I don't. I mean, my best friend has been comfortable coming around me because she's okay. She's comfortable with the risk. And if that's what she wants and is comfortable like isolating, that's when I was okay to see her. But I only saw her in the last 5 days. And we didn't really hug. She just came to see me. I also did go around to my parents recently, and everything seems to be okay. I was told that if you don't have any symptoms, no medicine, for 72 hours, you're likely to not be contagious. But this is not proven.
It's likely. Maybe, you know.
Right. Exactly. What are you going to do? I try my best. I don't leave my house.
Well,
so that's
you're awesome. Thank you for being responsible in your illness and thinking about everybody else, not just yourself.
For me, before talking with you today, like I haven't known anyone personally who's had it. Like it's so far removed. So it's so interesting to talk to somebody our age who's actually had it, because I think that people are really downplaying it a lot. Like I have a couple of friends who I have a couple friends who are like, whatever, I'm not going to get it. Or like, I think my friend got it, so I feel like I'm immune to it. And then just hanging out with a whole bunch of people.
You know, what's interesting is a lot of people have said to me, I think I may have had it already.
Yeah.
And my thing has been, I don't think so. I think that if you did, you would know that you had it.
Yeah, I had so many people text me saying, I think I had it. And I'm like, babe, you would know. I mean, I don't want to downplay their situation, but like, also, I came from Europe. When they're saying they had it, it wasn't that big in the States
not to say that people haven't had it, but I'm saying people who are saying they had it before anything like started really coming out about it. Like, oh, I think I had it earlier this year, or I think I had it like before all this happened. I was really sick for like 10 days, you know? And I'm like, the thing is though, like you're saying this is different than anything you've ever felt before. And so that's what I think is like, if you've never felt like this is something completely out of the ordinary than what you felt. Yeah.
It's different. It's just different. It's different than influenza. It's different than bronchitis. It's different than strep throat. It is just different. And you can feel it in your body. Like there's just something off about it. Oh my God, I had the worst migraines. They were pretty significant, and you can't take Advil or
ibuprofen makes it worse, apparently.
Well, I also read that wasn't true, but I don't know.
Yeah, I had doctors tell me that most people, the way they're assuming that is because most people who did die from coronavirus had it in their system. So that's why
Just don't do it.
saying
Yeah,
maybe
take that
made it worse.
measure of not.
Now, another thing I just want to quickly bring up is actually yesterday, I have a friend who's in Los Angeles, and he posted on his Instagram story about these conspiracies and like, oh, fuck the lockdown. We all need to get on the streets and do a march, like to protest this, thousands of people, and like comparing the women's march to how people should gather and march against this, and these conspiracies about like the economy and how it's not real. It is real. I had it. And unless you don't want to put others at risk. If you're okay to risk yourself and get it and then learn the hard way, go ahead and do that. But whoever's posting on their stories trying to like cause this revolution against our government and like how to fight against this, stop.
Yeah.
I think that the question is,
right,
why is this happening? You know, is there something going on with the government? And I don't even want to get into that because I think that it is possible.
Yeah, no.
However, I don't think that it diminishes the fact that people are sick. People are sick, and this is fucking real, and it's happening. And people are dying at a quick rate here. So
exactly, and I completely agree with you. I do believe there's some economic involvement and China, absolutely. And there's so many like factors that are strange, right? Also, the 5G,
Oh my God.
I get that, but at the same time, the virus is real. So whoever is denying
the virus is real.
Like,
I think it's also important to remember that there is such a thing as being asymptomatic. Like I had a friend call me weeks ago, like even before the travel ban, who was like, do you know anybody who has it? And I said no. And she was like, well, I have 2 friends in LA that just came back from Europe, and they were fine for 2 weeks. And then one of them contracted it and got very badly sick. And so the other one got tested as well and tested positive, but was completely asymptomatic and felt fine the entire time.
Wow.
So I think that that's also a thing. Like his boyfriend had it, he also had it, but he just didn't contract any symptoms. So
how was he able to?
I think that's
so weird.
Yeah, it is.
This virus is weird.
It's a weirdo.
It's a weird
for
virus.
Sure. Yeah.
It is so strange, I'm telling you. And that's why with the symptoms, it's weird too. Like you will feel the difference and be like, this is weird. What's happening? You know?
I mean, I also think in the beginning, I was super paranoid, especially having gotten off the plane and having that whole experience. I definitely had paranoia, and I had chest tightness for like a couple days. And I was like, okay, it's probably
poor babe.
I know. And
oh, it's bad. It's
anxiety,
bad.
babe.
You know, anytime I would like have a little cough or something, I'd be like, oh my God, I have it. And now it's been a couple weeks now, and so I've been quarantined for 3 weeks, over 3 weeks now. I definitely don't have it, and my level of paranoia has definitely gone down. I can like cough once
because you're doing
like,
what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that things aren't going to be the same moving forward. People aren't going to want to hug each other or be close to each other after this for a while. I don't know what it's going to be like in the music world, even in terms of like people dancing close to each other and sweating with your pores open, or sharing drinks. I mean, all of smoking joints. Like we're in California.
Oh my
like,
God.
How are people going to like smoke a J together?
I was talking
Think about
that with my best friend, and we were like, we're gonna put like taped squares on the ground that are like 6 by 6 feet, and then we're just gonna dance in our squares.
And I know that the universities in the States, like the Ivy League universities here, have already announced that the fall semester will be online for all students. So they can't even, like, they're planning for September to December, that whole semester. They're not prepared to have students come in. That means something, you know what I mean? They're not expecting it to end anytime soon. I'm not sure what we'll do in terms of work and income. Like all of us are going to suffer from this really badly.
So how has work been for you? I mean, you've only been better for a little bit, but like, do you have any work prospects? Do you have any other ways of making money other than shows? I know I'm a musician too, and I know that it's hard to monetize on, you know, like Instagram live shows or whatever everyone's doing right now. So do you have any idea? Yeah.
Well,
you're teaching, right?
Yeah. I mean, what I do. So I'm also teaching. I actually have a student today in the afternoon on Zoom. So a lot of people have been reaching out, asking me for lessons in regards to mixing techniques, production, and DJing.
Yes.
So I'm doing that. If anybody wants a lesson, holla at your girl. And also I'm continuing my projects, my production projects. I have so many projects actually that I need to finish. I have a 3-track EP coming out on a label in London called Tromwag. I have multiple vocal collaborations, some new ones coming in that I basically got paid to do because they're just features. And then I have my own projects, my own individual music projects that I'm working on as well that I hope will do well in terms of selling and streaming. And besides teaching on Zoom, there's really not much else I can do.
You're doing really
time,
good.
You know,
I mean, the fact that you're doing that at all is just really
Thanks.
awesome and inspiring and motivating. So like, that's rad.
Thank you.
I just want to say for anybody out there who wants to get tested, the link is on the homepage for lacity.org. So go ahead and get on the website and you should see the link and get tested. I think that everyone should have the right to get tested. So if you feel symptoms such as the ones spoken here, you should go ahead and make sure you make that appointment.
Also, I do know that UCLA is holding some,
It's
drive-through testing. I know the wait is like up to 4 hours, but it's worth it if you feel sick. And then there's one other outlet I actually would like to share with you guys in terms of getting tested. It's www.nurx.com. So nurx.com/coronavirus-testing. And it's an at-home test kit that just launched. I got it. My buddy just sent it to me. His friend has launched this. So you can go online and get a phone consultation, and then they'll likely send you a test at home.
Wow.
And and you can get tested at home.
That's really awesome. So, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, connect with me, ask me questions. I'm happy to talk about this, whoever you are. If you're awesome, just ask.
Thank you so much. You have been so inspiring, girl.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to have been able to do this with you girls. I really support you, and I think this is amazing.
I'm so happy you're feeling better. Keep taking care of yourself. You can find Lauren at Lauren Mia Music. That's LAURENMIA Music on Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, and all platforms you find your favorite artists.
Please follow us on our social medias. You can find me, Sada, at SADASIMONE.
And you can find me, Kimmy, at King Cleo. That's King KLIO, and at kingcleo.com.
Thanks for not sucking, guys.
We love you.